we're back. I know it's been a long time, and in all transparency, it's been a long time because we really like to do things at a high level, and we don't know how to edit a video. However,
we're learning.
I
do. Did you hear that?
9-year-old says he
The
don't.
9-year-old.
He's supposed to, but he don't. But anyway, so we're back tonight, and we decided to come back tonight because Leon and I had a conversation. We have conversations all the time, really great conversations that I think you all would enjoy and benefit from. But we had a conversation this morning about reflecting and becoming more self-aware by reflecting on the things that we go through instead of just moving forward. So for us, when life is hard, we just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
We just keep moving forward for the brighter day, better day, the day that we've set our goals to, the day that we believe God has promised us. We just keep moving forward. And what we omit from that process is taking time to reflect. And although we learn, we don't have real formal learning because we don't take time to document and reflect. So anyway, Leon is a doer. So when we talk about stuff, Leon just does it. That's just who he is, right? If I give him feedback on something, he processes it, and then he implements it like immediately, right? And that's just who he is. So today I got home from work and he said to me, I was reflecting. I was like, oh. But he was reflecting, and one of the things I think that he was reflecting on is Leon has a lot of clients who are entrepreneurs. And as you know, he's an entrepreneur. We are entrepreneurs. I do go and exchange my skills, talents, and abilities for a check, but he does not anymore. He is fishing, and at 50-something years old, we decided that exchanging his skills, talents, and abilities, which are amazing in HR and a whole lot of areas, for a paycheck was no longer acceptable or satisfactory. I don't know what we would think of. This entrepreneur stuff is not a joke.
It isn't. It's not for the faint of heart.
It is not a joke. And to start doing this at 50 years old, when we've spent 95%, 98% of our life exchanging our skill, talents, and ability for a check in structured environments, highly competitive environments, and to come out and apply your skill, talents, and abilities in I hate to call it a job, a career, whatever it is, in a business, in a profession or a business, however you do it, and to not get the return. Consistently,
expect the return.
The consistent return in exchange for your, let's be honest, greatness. I would say greatness. Is it can knock the breath out of you. Yeah. It can knock the breath out of you. And so I'm going to let Leon talk about, because I think as a therapist, many times you see yourself maybe, where you see your struggles and your clients. Yes. And so I want you to talk about that, because tonight we're talking about entrepreneurs. And one of the things you said to me is, I was reflecting. And I consistently over the months am hearing my experience. And so talk to us about that.
I've been talking a lot about my experience because as I've been seeing folks that are dealing with the challenges to be an entrepreneur and to be in their own business, the thing that has been resonating with me has been this whole thing of belonging into whatever profession or whatever entrepreneurship that they're in, and also this idea of, should I stay in it, and to the point of, is it worth it? Am I getting the recompense? My skills and ability. Am I getting back the funds that are necessary for me to continue to survive first, and then think about continuing it, and then for them to second guess themselves, to take it personally when they lose patients or they lose contracts or they lose clients, if you will, and it has made me reflect on my own struggle in it. You know, I feel it myself. I feel that it is something that I'm challenged with every day, and so one of the best ways of putting it is I learn a lot from my clients more than they learn from me, and so I listen to them very not just empathetically, but I just really hone into certain things that they say, and a lot of it is reflective of what I'm going through. So so it allows me to kind of heal myself while trying to help others heal.
So now,
so it's kind of selfish at times. It's like, should I be sharing with my clients what I'm going through? But at the same time, that's not why they're there, and that's not why they're coming to see me.
Right.
I work on my stuff later.
So you have to be unselfish.
Oh, absolutely.
And you work on your stuff later. How?
I generally work on it. First of all, through the Word of God. I think that's one of the biggest things for me. That I get an opportunity to do that. That's the thing that kind of gets me settled, get my buoyancy back. But I really stay focused on not letting something small become bigger than what it is. And that's kind of how I work on me, because I know I have faults and I know I have things that I need to work on, and so but I do take an honest and try to take an objective. I get my objectivity from you when I ask you kind of some things that you see, but I try to be as objective as I can about myself. But I know what I'm being, but I know sometimes I'm like, yeah, that ain't really you. That's not you. But it's but you'll come with the sword and get cutting on some things, and I'm like, man, yeah, I guess I am dealing with that. I am kind of not paying attention to this, or I do need to focus on something, or I do need to pay attention to it, and so it just helps me. You really help me in that respect.
So how do your mentors help? Because you have some mighty men of God You're a therapist, because the therapist has a therapist, right? He needs to walk the walk and talk the talk. Yeah. So he has a therapist. Then you have a mentor.
Yeah.
And then you have
three mentors.
And then you have kind of like a colleague who's a partner in crime that you all kind of bounce things off of. Exactly. So when you're talking about the challenges that you're facing, what is the role of those people in your challenges? How do they pour into you to keep you moving forward?
That's a good one. I think the biggest part for me is that I love to gather information. I can sit in a crowd.
You're self-aware, so know I need information, and if I have information that's tried and true, I can continue.
Bingo! I can sit in a crowd of people, and I can certainly sit with my mentors, and let them pour into me whatever's on their mind that day. I can come with a structured thing that I want to talk about. And say, hey, I want to talk about this today. They'll hit that. Like the other day, talking with one of my mentors. And he was I brought him something about what was going on in my business. Little did I know, before long, we were talking about Plato and Socrates, the allegory of the cave. And I'm like,
how the heck did we get
here? Like, how did we get to
Okay, but stop. Let me just soak this in for this moment, maybe.
Exactly. I took it all in, and I use it. I use it because, and I've read the allegory of the cave so many times before. And so I started gravitating towards it back again to incorporate it back into what I do and who I am. because it's a part of my. You know, once you read stuff, it's kind of becomes a part of your personality essentially. And so I had so we got to talking about that, and I was like, okay, you answered my question, but we got way over there. But when I got off the call,
and you reflected.
It was fantastic to have the reflective piece kind of look directly at my issue and my concern without them even talking directly to the issue or the concern. It was other things, you know, that I was expecting the answer to come one way and it came another. It is what I'm trying to say.
And it's amazing because that in itself was a therapy technique.
Yes.
That they used, that you picked up after some reflection.
Yeah.
That now improves your skills, which can help another customer that will give you a great word of mouth referral, right?
Yeah. And I think you're nailing it, because I find that trying to run the sessions is not where I need to be. I have to submit to whatever walks into the space, and using myself as a tool in the space, but allowing the person to kind of let it take shape for them. So for me as an entrepreneur, that's something that, you know, that's a learned behavior.
Yes, because you want to fix it so that they like you and want to come back.
Exactly. I got degrees on the wall. I have
experience.
I got experience. I got certifications. I have all these things.
You're the same man to get stopped in Target by an old woman to talk about her husband and her issues. You got
15 minutes.
For 15 minutes for free. For free. Let's say for free.
I know. Calm down with the free. Calm down with the free.
But you know,
I was trying to get out of the conversation the whole time.
An entrepreneur wants to make the money.
Yeah.
Right? You want to please your customers at the highest level. And I'm huge on customer service, and you know that.
Absolutely.
You want to please your customers at the highest level so that they can continue to come, so that they can send you referrals, and so that you can make the money. And many times you have to sit back, though, pull back, and you have to be what they don't always know they need, right? And that's hard for you. That's a hard balance. It's not hard for you, but it's a hard balance when you think about your what?
Yeah. It's a hard balance when you think about what do I do
Just ate dinner.
what do I do to and this sounds kind of weird, but what do I do to make this client happy?
Right.
To keep coming back. And so what I've learned from my mentors is that's not your focus.
That's not your focus, right? Right.
God will give you the people that He wants you to have before you, and everything else will take care of itself. But that
applies for like all entrepreneurs. God's going to send your people to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Trust.
And the more you claw and fight,
trust and believe it'll happen. Yeah,
the more you can't even see your people.
Yeah. And I find that, you know, it allows me literally sometimes, and I have to do this consciously, to just take a deep breath, get that polyvagal nerve in line, and just be in a space with someone while they're sharing some of their darkest, deepest things, and then help them climb out of it at the same time.
Are there days though, babe, where you're like, oh, this right here ain't really gonna pay the bills this week?
Was that today?
And how do you continue to hold the space when you're thinking to yourself, I've been doing this for how many? I've been doing this full time for a little over for
2 years. Right around almost 2 years.
For 2 years, right? I've been doing this full time,
but I've been in private practice for almost 5.
And you've been therapizing people for over 30. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. dealing with crazy folks. It happens.
It's called family.
It's called work.
And work too. Yeah.
How do you refocus in to give that client what you hear? See, there are things they're saying that they're not saying. There are body positions that they're giving you, body language they're communicating that they're not actually verbally communicating. How do you retune back in with the stresses and pressures of finances and building your clientele and building your business to just kind of give them what they need in that moment?
It's not easy. Let me start there. Really, it's not easy. I think the biggest thing for me is that I am I'll allow myself to be real with myself. If that makes sense. I'll allow myself to say, this is how you're feeling, but your feelings don't matter right now. They're not paying you for your feelings.
Right.
They're paying you for that astute information that you can provide, or that diagnoses or that treatment plan that you have put forth. They're paying you to put those things, to implement those things in their lives. And so, so whether it's telehealth, and that's 60% of my business, and then the other 40% is in person. And so, so I have to be able to kind of bridge that dynamic of, if you're not even sitting in the room, we breathe in the same air. I gotta be able to get my focus and stay focused on you when you're in Columbia, Myrtle Beach, or Raleigh, Greensboro, as a client, and so that focus is hyper focus. I mean, it has to be hyper focused, and because at the end of the day, and I've always said this as well, if I go into a session on a bill, I owe it when I come out.
That's right.
So why am I going to worry about it during? I mean, I just don't need to worry about it. If I got something going on financially, or if I got something going on business-wise, it's business-wise that I'm working on, which my mind is always thinking about the business. It's going to be there when I'm done, and so I don't cheat my clients and my patients. I don't cheat them in that manner. It's like you talked about before about me being very good at my work-life balance. Because I box things out.
You do. You're a good boxer. I was talking to somebody today about you being able to always put things in a box.
Yeah. I just always, for me, it works better for me. Things belong somewhere. So I got to put it where it belongs. And then when I put it where it belongs, I'm okay. I can now work with it.
Helps you to organize.
It helps me to organize it mentally. And and then for me, I protect my Johari window a little bit more than a lot of people do. And because I know there's a lot of unknown with me. And so if I start sharing in a certain way, I don't know where I would end with that share. And so then I'm like, oh, what? Did I just take up 10 minutes of their time?
Of their time, right.
To share my stuff? And that's selfish. And I wouldn't do that.
Right. So now, have you ever thought about quitting?
Was that today as well?
I mean, have you ever thought, I can go somewhere and make the money I need to make by exchanging my skills and talents for a paycheck? For
that, what I should call it, that every 2 weeks or once a month gratification?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go do that. And make a great salary.
Yes, you can.
With my knowledge, skills, and abilities.
Because you're amazing.
Thank you for that. I'll pay you later.
You pay me later.
So yeah, but I think it's I think that is something that I could do or would do, but at the same time, I think about it a lot about leaving or not doing what I do, but then lo and behold, I'll have that meeting or that session, and it's like, this is why you're doing this. This is why you're here. So you're sitting over there thinking about stuff, stewing on something maybe, and then thinking about what else you could do rather than focus on what you are doing with this particular individual and the way that you might be changing their lives. And and that comes with understanding your value really within yourself, and not letting what I charge per hour or hour and a half or whatever program I have going dictate how I feel about myself.
Right. And that's interesting, because in the world today, your paycheck, your bank account, the number of clients, the number of offices, all of this stuff in many ways defines success for a person, right? And to hear you say you don't let that dictate, let's talk about, has there ever been a time where you have yielded to that dictate of I'm not enough, or I could be more, or I'm not as successful as I should be at a certain age, because you are growing and starting a business, and you are an entrepreneur, and things go up and down, and have you ever yielded to that, and how did you bring yourself out of it?
Let me think. That from a reflection standpoint, I think I've done that once or twice.
Once or twice?
Over. Can I finish?
Yes, go ahead, finish.
Once or twice over the last. I would say over the last 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
Wow, once or twice, that's it.
And I'm talking pretty in-depth thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I get the surface thoughts a lot of times, but I'm talking where I was like kind of mired in it for a moment. It was it's only been about twice in the last couple of years, and during those times, it was really based on what does my future look like? What am I doing essentially? I have a certain skill that I was able to use for almost 20 some years, over 20 some years. I used a skill, and then I learned how to use one of those particular skills, but turned it into a career, a profession, and so that creates its own concerns, if you will, about what am I doing or not doing, and that is and I think that is kind of reflective of who I am, I guess. I don't know. Is that kind of what you want?
I got distracted by your 9-year-old. I got distracted by the 9-year-old. But so when in those 2 times that you did kind of get in the mire of all of that discouragement, I will say, all of that doubt, what did you do to come up out of it? Because I feel like we're in an economic time now where a lot of small businesses, their clients are really operating on discretionary funds. So with our economic turns and all of that, discretionary funds are lessening.
Yeah.
So people are making choices now to say, I don't need that.
Yeah, exactly. Itemizing.
Right, I don't need that.
Yeah,
so what did
line item vetoes.
Right. And so what did you do when you were in that mire to keep going, to bring yourself up out, to come up and focus? What did you do?
Well, I did 2 things I know of that helps me. Well, actually 3 things. I certainly prayed more specifically about the things that were going on within me and within my business and my and whatever part that was lacking, whether it was client achievement, client retention, marketing, investments, investing, whatever it was, business investment, or whatever it was, and then I opened my mouth and talked to you, as a confidant and as an individual that I know I can share some stuff with, and know that I'm gonna either get no feedback, which is sometimes what I want, just listen, or I can get some feedback. Because there have been times you're like, you want me to answer that or no? And I'll be like, okay, yeah, you can answer that one. Then there was other times like, no, I just want you to just listen.
Don't say anything.
And then I did multiple reach outs. You know, I wanted to get to my mentors and to people that are in the business and doing things. And so I didn't stay silent. I didn't stay in a corner, and I didn't stay to myself. And said, okay, I'm a man, let me figure it out. I was like, you know what, I'm a man, let me get some resources. Let me pull some people in. Let me start with God, of course. Then let me then go to my wife, and then let me pull in my resources that I have around me, the people that I have around me. And then those things helped me big time. Helped me big time just kind of to focus on getting back to what makes you what has you doing this.
Your why.
Your why, exactly. There you go. Getting back to my why. And that's why I said from that depth, it's only happened like twice. But there's been other times, you know, little things that kind of come along the way. But my mentor sessions were popping up. And so I would handle it.
And you have those regularly.
Have those regularly.
And I think the other thing that you said was, you come to me, you know, and I know, and you want, as a wife, you want your husband to be able to trust his heart to you. You want it to be safe. And so, you know, I say to women, you know, be that place where he can go. Don't be critical. And there's a time to be critical or to correct some things, but I encourage women to pray about that timing, because when you pray about the timing, when you bring it, they will be more apt to receive it. Exactly. I'm not going to say they're going to receive it with a smile and pleasantly, but it will be. I have seen from experience, when I pray about it, and I hold my tongue until God releases me, if he ever releases me to say it, there are no walls that go, there are no real walls that go up. You don't become defensive. You actually listen. You may have a small attitude, but you listen. It's small, right? It's not a thing. And I think that's key, to be supportive of your spouse, be it male or female, to be supportive of your spouse when they feel like they've been called to something, or they feel like they've been led into something and it's not working in the way they foresaw it, or foresaw, I don't even know if that's a word. That might be English, don't worry about it. How they saw it working, right? How they saw it working. And I think that support is critical to them not staying down, right? Yeah. And then the second thing I'm going to say is, I think one of the things that we've learned is when that business is not flourishing the way you want it to, it's not consuming the time that you need it or want it to consume, then take that opportunity to genuinely focus on other things. And for many people, for especially men, it's the family, because you've been all consumed in the business, making the money, planning, running after things, and now nothing's panning out and things are slowing down and things are drying up. Might be a great time to rekindle relationships with your wife, to fire those up again.
Absolutely.
And fire up time with your children.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't have that issue because you have always prioritized me and the boys, right? You have always done, I mean, except for school, but that was not, you couldn't help that. But you have always prioritized us. Yeah. But I think it's a good thing for people to understand that maybe this is an opportunity to shore up some things, so when things do get busy, you have strength.
I like that.
You have strength. For you're equipped and prepared for that next busy season, right? At home.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good. Okay.
Well, Papa, anything else you want to share with entrepreneurs as it pertains to dealing with I call it a dry season.
Well, I guess I would end with um, pretty much no matter the business from a small business perspective, even large businesses face some type of downturns. But it doesn't last forever, and fight through the downturn. Use it productively is what you're essentially saying. Use the downtime if you have it productively, and then be ready. And that productivity means be ready. Get yourself prepared and ready for when things pick up.
That's right, because they will pick up. If you stick with it, they will pick up.
But be prayerful about it as well. So,
Yeah. Is that all you got, baby?
that's all I got.
All right. Come here. Come here, Matt. This is our 9-year-old who's been on here entertaining us and making us laugh. Say hi.
Hi.
Say bye.
Bye.